ObservAnalysis, brought to you by yours truly, Mr. Walker. We're going to be going over the same thing we go over every single time. Let's see, what's the best spot for this? Maybe up here. Yeah, that's the best spot. So we have two different platforms looking at the same market. For this one, the one that my mouse is going all over the place on, I'm looking for momentum and continuous movement. This one, I'm looking for position and commitment. Cool thing is I have, let's see, I got some video to review, so that's good. But before I get started, let me go ahead and share to let the people know. For the people. Check my audio right quick, because the audio loves to do its own thing. Just do an hour, keep it simple. Let me check my sound, make sure I'm coming in clearly. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, we're good on the mic. Oh, and my ears is loud though, I ain't gonna lie. But we're good. Anyway, let's share it. Okay. All right, so what we'll do on this platform here, I'm going to go ahead and make my positions so that you can see exactly what I'm looking at, or see what I'm seeing. For here, we'll come back to this later. So let's take a look here. So what I'm doing right now is just going and looking at where the most recent binary ended. which is 2254. That was the last minute of the last binary. So what I'll do, go on and identify my zones just to see where the market's been moving in relation to that zone for that time period. So this is the most recent binary. That's the current 5 minutes. And then the recent 5 minutes. Okay. Now for this one, actually, we'll come back to this in a second. So, let's see. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at basically where the market tends to, like where the market's been, and if it sticks within its zone for a full binary. So if you look here, and you look at this candle here, which is the end of the binary before, this is where, yeah, end of this binary, the market started, I hate when it does that, the market started in this zone on top, and it moved out of the zone and closed inside of the zone. So the way that I interpret that is that the market has a range of 1. Here, let me draw it. It has a range of 1, 2, 3 positions, or 1, 2 zones. I'm looking for the range to be 1 zone and 1 position. That's what I'm looking for. Now between, when I'm looking at this market, I'll go over here and kind of see, what's going on. So usually I'll just come back to this one when the time is getting down to about a minute and a half, and then I'll come back and see what's up. But since we have plenty of time, let's bring this one up. And so for this one, what we're looking for are touch points. So I'll go ahead and identify the touch points that I can see. This is a touch point. And let me see something real quick. Not a lot of solid touch points. I mean, you could argue that this is kind of a touch area, but not really. But I'll put one there just because I'm staying aware of it. But beyond there, there's no touch points. Let me get another one. So this is just a waiting game. We'll pull this one back up because it looks like we might be coming into something, maybe. So what we're looking at is that this market started off in one zone. So far it's stayed in one zone, now it's moving to another zone. So I'm kind of interested to see how that progresses, because on this side of it, now I'm paying attention to see if it continues its movement. Nope. this is in the way a little bit. So we started in this zone, and you can see right here in this little box it shows the highest point, the lowest point, and the highest and lowest point are all in that zone, all in this space. And we see that all throughout the binary except for when it gets to this end part where the lowest is, it says 16668, which is in this zone here. And it closed here. So from when we first started, it looks like the overall behavior right now is that we have 2-zone range of movement. What we want is 1-zone range of movement. It seems like it's trying to get into one zone range, but it's not giving us anything yet. Dang, I'm yawning. I just started this damn thing. I need some different music. That's a little better. So, yeah, the thing about these two platforms is that this one's a lot better when the market is more active. And it seems like the market wants to kind of settle where it's at, but it hasn't really decided in one zone yet. So just watching and waiting. I'll give you an example here soon. What one zone movement looks like. Still same thing. 2-zone movement. So maybe we can leverage that to our advantage. Let's take a look over here. this is just, I mean, if I wasn't streaming live, I'd be honest, I'm just sitting here just looking around at stuff. But I do kind of like the way that this is coming together. But the overall behavior has just been that the market's been moving from one zone to another. So even though I like this right here, I put it a different color. I like that, so we'll keep an eye on that and see how that kind of develops. But the market started here, so if it continues to do what it's been doing, then I wouldn't be surprised to see it hop into another zone. But I am interested to see. Oh, what? There goes the zone. There it goes right there. Yep. So we see we can kind of almost anticipate it to an extent, but it's not the product that I'm looking to collect. Yep, in and out of zones. Slow this down a little bit. Okay, I guess I'll just show, just for my own review purposes. Most recent product. take a look and see what the best timing would have been. Let's see what the best timing would have been. Looks like 24, 124. 85, 86, 90, 86, 85, 84, 87, 90, 87, 88, 91, 7. Nice incrementality. A little bit high, actually. This is not a super high quality product here. I just and based on the positioning, the market for where it was fit the pricing, but in terms of the timing of my entry, it didn't agree with the market's price, the market's shown pricing at the time. So that was a little bit out of sync in my entry, but I knew it would stay above. We can take a look at that again. So where would have been the perfect spot? Let's get a closer view, since nothing's really going on with the actual market. The best time to have entered this, well, first of all, we see that every single candle is inside of the zone, and then every single candle is also inside of one position. We see this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one are all within one position inside of one zone. And so that's where my confidence to enter this trade came from. And if we're talking about the timing, the position, which is 4 above the strike, and the pricing were in sync. But let's look into when the timing was right to enter this trade. 26. Right there. Right at 125, which is earlier than my type of style, or you could say product allows. But that would have been the most accurate timing. So what I'm doing is giving it time to price away incrementally. And by increment, I mean both in this, the way that this is moving, it's not going too far out of range of its prior number, like 93, 98. Now this is out of my range. However, it makes sense based on where the market is in relation to the strike. So all those things kind of added up. But the only thing about these types of entries is that when the market's not showing you the pricing you need, you have to be pulled into the trade, and that usually requires the market going against you, which is exactly what happened. So what you identify in the market at the time would have to be what's called a barrier, which is the little area between where the market started in the beginning of the binary and the strike. It needs to be, there's like a buffer zone. And so you can see that right here, 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 and then the buffer zone grows. But to have full confidence in something like that, like I said, these are the conditions that I'm waiting for. I need the market to show me, the market shows me steady movement in one position, or at minimum steady movement in one zone, which is exactly what we saw here. So nice trade. I think it was, what was it? So 1538, that's my new balance. 12.59, so just a little under $300 to add into the just adding on to basically kind of giving myself a raise, and that's what I'm going to be doing until I finish this project, which will take probably another year. But as you can see now, we look at what the market's doing. It's kind of the same thing. Like right here, we saw the market start and stay in one zone. Started in one zone. You can see that at 1690, and then it ended in the same zone, 181. So it started at the top of this sell position and it ended at the bottom of this sell position. At each position is about 10 micropips. So for this 81, 80 would be the very, very bottom of this sell position. Over here, zone to zone movement. That's been kind of like the theme so far, zone to zone within one binary, which obviously isn't what we're looking for. And then it'll lock, so it's not moving with momentum, otherwise we would have some opportunity over here, but it's moving and locking. Let me get some water. Oh wait, hold on. I can see this is kind of a touch point here, so we might take advantage of this. This is a touch point, not a super strong one. Let's give it a sell. Why did I do that? Well, right here, it's showing a touch, but obviously I called that one wrong. It was a touch point, just not a very strong one, and it broke right through. Might be a good thing though for showing a little bit of a change in the behavioral cycle. So we might see something developing because we see a little bit of continuation, so that's a good thing. What I was trying to take advantage of is a reversal, because this touch point and kind of here, you know, it's kind of weak. It's not a very strong touch point. But we'll keep an eye on this. Yeah, keep an eye on it. It still has a lot of move lock into it. Like I said, this one requires move, and this one requires sustain. But yeah, it looks like we're moving into, like the market is transitioning somewhere to do something either the same, or usually when it transitions, when it has these larger movements, like right here, look, this binary, I mean, over the past 30 minutes we've seen zone to zone, like 2 zone ranges of movement, but right here we have 1, 2, 3 zones. So that's what I mean, there's a transition happening because the range of movement has increased, and so usually after it does something like that, the market shows a different type of behavior sometimes. Okay, so the market moved over three zones, and what I'm interested to see is if it locks in to this spot. I like how these are moving right now. Lowest 4, lowest 4, lowest 2. So we can see if this sustains itself. Just kind of keep an eye on it. We got another minute before we even start thinking about it. Looks like we're moving at a range based on the pricing. Nope, nothing here. Nothing here in terms of a trade, but let's see if it stays in the same zone at least. So that's good. We see that the market's staying in one zone, so that's positive. Now it needs to get into one position. It's straddling the buy and sell position right now. You can see lowest 718, highest 721. That is the buy and sell position. Okay. So far, too early to say anything, but I'm just saying overall, from this point, when the market had that transition move here, went from one, it moved over three zones to get to where it's at right now. It's been sustaining itself in one zone, but it's kind of been straddling two positions over on this here, this candle that I'm looking at, that I have my mouse over, where it says 718 at the lowest and 721 at the highest. That's the top of the buy position and the bottom of the sell position. So it's right, they're kind of like sharing a space here. Now this lowest point is at 1-1, so if there is any type of barrier, it's a fairly thin barrier at 1, but I'm going to take a look and see how the market and the pricing moves around 1 to away from this strike to determine if the market will stay where it's at or if it might try another transitional move. We saw it spike up to 9 all of a sudden. It's still earlier than what we would even consider, but there's a little bit of, I guess you could call it bursty behavior that would put us out of a potential trade, but let's just keep an eye on it. Might be something to, this might be something to consider. Let's see, we have the bottommost part. Yeah, you know, we're going to record this one. A little bit high. Now it's too high. Yeah, it's out of range. It's out of our range, so it's at the top of the buy position. Now it's in the bottom of this sell position. So yeah, the bursty behavior showing itself. Still within one zone. That's good, but nothing I can do with this right here. Now the pricing coming back in. I can't do nothing with it. Let's look over here. Still in one zone, so still worth observing. One zone, no position. That's what we're looking at right now. One zone, but no position. Looks like we're going to move back down. I don't want to speculate, but let's see how long we've been. 1, 2, 3, so almost 15 minutes we've been in the same spot. And we've been kind of straddling on the buy and sell position. This one has touched the buy and sell position. This one's touched the buy, this sell, started in the sell. and then entered into the buy position. This one right here, that was in the lower part of the sell position and mid part of the buy position. This one right here, very bottom of the sell position, top of the buy position. So it's straddling, within one zone it's straddling the buy and the sell. I like when it comes down here, but there's some burstiness that happens when the market does what it does, and the burstiness throws the market out of sync a little bit to where I wouldn't be able to consider it as an income product. Not to say that it's going to continue doing that, I'm just saying that that's what's been happening. The only hope or good, the big good thing really happened here. This 3 zone, that's 1, 2, 3 zone move before it kind of semi-locked over here. But again, that there's a combination of some burstiness, like it's sudden movement is what I'm talking about. And let's see here, 1 1. We're still staying in that same, like this specific binary is in the buy position. So we'll keep an eye on that. Pretty thin, what do you call it? Let's record it. Okay, so the market, let's take a look at how it's moving. 84, 91, 85, 91, 95, 90, 89. We wanted in like the mid 80s. 86, 87, 90, 62. So it's going to jump down. The burstiness is coming back. And I don't know if it's going to test that 1 again or break it. Let's find out. The 1, it has been acting as the barrier. So it needs to move away from this 1. Oh no, see, another burst. That, you see how that pricing just disappeared? And now look. Now it's going into the sell position on the other side, or the very top of this buy position. I mean, can't do nothing with it. There's that burst. That was like a perfect example of that burst. You don't want to really ever mess with the binary when the pricing just suddenly disappears like that. The pricing typically disappears at the 30-second mark, but that one was sudden, and then it was indicative of that behavior. So the pricing will tell you, the market and the pricing together will tell you what's likely to happen next. And so can't really mess with those. The good news is that we're still in the same zone. We got another, what, 12, 15 minutes before we wrap up. So we might see something that could keep me on for a little bit longer, but that bursty movement is kind of turning me off to this whole thing. That isn't, but the good news is that after that transition, the market has been staying in the same zone for the past 1, 2, 3, 15 minutes. So that's good. Without violating either strike, without going into another zone, it's been staying in the same zone for 15 minutes. But even right now, even though there's nothing for me to look at, it's just, it keeps on coming back to the middle of the zone, which is in the bottom of the sell and the top of the buy. So when I talk about that, I'm talking about the buy position is from 1 plus all the way up to about 10. This is the buy position. Buy. And then this is the sell position. So the market, I mean, look, if I just drew a straight line, you can see the straddle has been straddling the buy and the sell. And it's still doing it. I like the behavior generally, but just a couple of things that it needs to clean up. And I can't do anything over here either because there's no momentum. So it's just stalemated for now. But we'll keep on observing. Needs to get closer to one side or the other. Okay, so there's that burstiness once again. And I don't know why I think that it's going to break through the barrier. Yep, there it is. So now it's officially touched this zone here. Strong push back. Market's pushed out of our range. Market's back in the range. It's too much back and forth. Market's out of the range. Out of range. Can't do nothing with it. Why? Because this is telling me it's out of range. No, now it's in range, so that's not good. That barrier must be getting weak. It's gotten weak. It's shown its weakness right here. Saying, hey, look, I can go into this other zone. So this position, or this range that it's been in for the past 15-20 minutes, the market is showing us that the integrity of that position is weakening just from this, because it hit this area, the sell position in the other zone. We got maybe one more, and I'm going to go to bed or something. Okay. We're gonna get some more water. About to go to bed. Same old, same old. Same old, same old. This was a fairly larger than normal move. Maybe we might be seeing another transition. All right, let's take a look over here. Got 10 seconds. Let's see. Why not? That wasn't based on any type of super skill or anything like that. This is just me thinking and anticipating that it's going to continue up because of this bigger than normal move. And that's exactly what's happening. Transition. I don't take transition trades. It's not my product, but, well, not on this platform. I got a lot more money on the line than this one. This one I just play with. It's not really important. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a night. I could stay on longer. I'm not. I'm not. Yeah. This is it for me. I'm going to do some other stuff. I'm gonna call it a night, my brother. So we got one review of a good product, a little high and tight, but we saw an example of when the market was inviting us in, which was a lot earlier than I like to mess around. But really good, bam, bam, right there. That was it. Confirmed everything was in the same position. It was under a minute 30. It's just earlier than what I'm comfortable with, so that's why I gave it extra time to see if it would allow me in. But that's what the timing of the market was telling us. So it gave us some liquidity here. So I'm like, all right, cool. Now just give me that one confirmation. So now I'm watching that indicative price at 615. The only thing that's a little iffy about this trade is that the market is high in pricing. It's expensive for that position. I entered anyway, so the only thing that allowed me to get into it was that the market came back and threatened my position. You typically don't want that, especially if you're dealing with thousands of dollars or whatever. But I was confident that the market would continue what it had been doing. That's one of the good things about observation, is that you start to kind of get an idea of what the market's been doing, and from there you can make a good decision on whether or not you should even engage. So that's enough of that. Oh, we're right back down here. Yeah, I think I might just go ahead and call it a night. All right, so for those that joined, appreciate y'all coming on. I got to make this more exciting or something, I don't know. But this is all for documentation and refinement. So until next time.